We're excited to present our late-breaking work, No Risk, No Reward, towards an automated measure of psychological safety from online communication. Psychological safety is defined as the shared belief held by members of a team that the team is safe for interpersonal risk-taking. And psychological safety is demonstrated through admitting to mistakes, bringing up tough issues, valuing others and their differences, and taking risks. And it's almost entirely measured using a 7-item survey scale. And psychological safety has been shown to result in higher team performance, more innovation, team satisfaction, knowledge sharing, and learning behavior. So we know that psychological safety is important for teams, but it's hard to measure, and particularly when teams are working remotely. On the one hand, it's harder to monitor dynamics in remote teams. However, teams are relying more on virtual communication, which creates a digital trace of their activity. And what if this trace was used to identify harmfully low values of psychological safety? To work towards this, in this exploratory work, we ask what characteristics of virtual communication might relate to high or low levels of psychological safety. We begin by identifying keywords and phrases, as well as communication tool use characteristics for each subcategory of psychological safety. Within voice behavior, we look for words like sorry and incorrect and short reply times. For supportive behavior, we look for yes, congratulations, and emoji reactions. For learning behavior, we look for suggestions like better and at mentions. And for familiarity behavior, we look for jokes and emoji reactions. We collected virtual collaboration data from mechanical engineering capstone teams who were surveyed on their psychological safety at 3 points during their project. And we studied the team with the consistently lowest levels and the team with the consistently highest levels. We used the public channel Slack messages from these teams to search for the keywords and phrases in the message content using keyword searches and thematic analysis, and we tabulated the related Slack characteristics. In terms of Slack use characteristics, we found that the team high in psychological safety replied to more messages, reacted to more messages, had more equal Slack contribution, used more at mentions, and used 2 times the amount of custom emojis. Frequency of keywords in the Slack messages did not differ among the high and low team, but they did differ in how they use these keywords. In voice behavior, the low team apologized for a wider variety of reasons, critiqued process instead of product, whereas the high team offered evidence of effort before asking for help. Within supportive behavior, the high team offered agreement, whereas the low team questioned it, and the high team offered specific compliments instead of general ones. In learning behavior, the high team displayed vulnerability in explicitly asking for feedback, and in familiarity behavior, the low team used emojis mostly for getting attention. Towards the goal of an automated measure of psychological safety, we will validate the measure by collaborating with social psychologists and doing user testing. We'll test these characteristics on a larger number of teams, and we will experiment with different prediction models to build a Slack plugin that alerts team leaders when psychological safety levels are low. Thank you for listening, and feel free to reach out with any questions.